This is CNN, a network of Turner Broadcasting System.
What's up, guys? Boy Ben. If you can totally comprehend exactly how epic the Trump years were, unless you actually were there to live through them. I happen to actually be in the room when this exchange happened. This was Donald Trump's first press conference after becoming the president-elect, winning the election. And Donald Trump decided to mark one of the greatest love stories of all time with a little bit of chin music here to Jim Acosta.
Attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be.
Can you give us a question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you stay categorically?
You are fake news.
You are fake news. That's amazing. And everyone started cheering. It was pandemonium. It wasn't supposed to be this way. It was really special. I call it a love story because Jim Acosta, well, loves himself, loves grabbing the mic, loves disrespecting President Trump, and obviously doesn't have a career without President Trump, right?
Invasion. Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN. All right. And if you did it well, your ratings would be much better.
If I may ask one other question, Mr. President, if I may ask one other question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President,
that's enough.
I was going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am.
Mr. President, that's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other question, if I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have?
I'm not concerned about anything with the Russian investigation because it's a hoax. That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
You'll notice here,
Mr. President.
You'll notice here that Jim Acosta actually fights the White House intern. So there's like this little White House intern comes over, this young woman, and Jim Acosta literally has a physical altercation with her, grabbing the mic. Donald Trump in front of world leaders then toasting Acosta.
And please remember the president's last remarks that we are a great democracy. The United States is a great democracy. And I'm airing what I'm airing because we are, in fact, a democracy. And if the press were straight and honest and forthright and tough, we would be a far greater nation. We would be a far greater when we don't have the CNNs of the world who are corrupt people. Thank you very much, everybody.
Absolutely cooked. And when Jim Acosta wore a mask, wore a face diaper, and ran to cover a Trump event, you heard it.
North Carolina are really states that should be in the bag for President Trump right now. That's an indication as to how much trouble he's in politically right now, Wolf. And as this crowd is chanting that there are members of the press here who suck, I should also point out, Wolf, what also sucks, getting the coronavirus. Wolf.
If clinically low testosterone and IQ like were a page in the DSM-5 and they needed an image, they just show this image. That's it. Like critically, terminally low testosterone and IQ. Oh man. Okay. So Jim Acosta back in the headlines. What do we mean by this? Well, Jim Acosta can't survive without President Trump and Trump's campaign. You haven't heard anything from him. Nobody's ever heard of Jim Acosta since the Trump campaign. Jim Acosta brought on Trump senior campaign advisor, Corey Lewandowski, to essentially just like, I don't know, spit in his face. Right. But what he didn't expect was to have fire spit back at him in what is one of the more utterly humiliating moments in cable news and television. Jim Acosta wasn't prepared for Lewandowski to know by the number, the amount of rapists and murderers, criminals that Kamala Harris has let into the country. 4 per county in America, apparently. These numbers coming directly from ICE. So they're federal numbers. This is exactly what Republicans need to do when it comes to the fake news and when it comes to people like Jim Acosta, who are not good faith operators. And good for Corey Lewandowski for going on the program. Some of the best 90 seconds that have ever been broadcast on TV. This was delicious to watch.
Started when Trump falsely claimed at last month's debate that Haitian migrants were eating pets. The governor of Ohio, the mayor of Springfield have both come out and said this is not true. Corey, can you say that Haitian migrants are not eating pets in Springfield? Can you say
You know what I can say, Jim? I can say that 13,099 murderers were let into this country, 16,000 rapists, 425,000 people in the last 4 years have been let into this country by Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's own Customs and Border Protection that are running
Corey,
around this country, Jim.
The other thing, too, it's Kamala
crimes.
Harris. I don't know. Why do you guys say Kamala? That is, it's Kamala Harris.
Jim, we know that they're committing crimes against Americans. Why can't these individuals talk about the individuals who've been killed by illegal immigrants? 13,099 murderers have been let into this country by this administration's own accounting, and you guys don't want to talk about it. To put that in perspective,
Corey, we talk
for your
about
viewers,
immigration all the time.
Yeah,
we talk about this all the
admit
time.
it, Jim. Jim, admit that 13,099 murders have been let into this country. That's
Corey,
4 murderers for every single county in America. You don't think that
Corey,
that's a problem?
Border crossings are down and crime is down in this country. But
crime is not down in this country. The FBI
I asked you at the
lied,
beginning
Jim,
of this
that.
interview, did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election? I just asked you whether Haitian migrants are eating dogs and cats in Springfield. You won't admit the truth on either of those questions. I want to ask you about something that
13,000 murderers have come into the country.
The 13,000 number is false, by the way. The 13,000 number is false.
Why is it false, Jim? If the government's own data says that, CBP's own data put this out last week. So why do you say it's false if the government put it out? By the way, this is the Biden-Harris administration who put it out.
The
so
government
why is
also
it false?
says border crossings are down.
But Jim, you just said that was a false number. How do you get to that? The politics of the top of the administration, whether it's Mayorkas or it's Kamala or it's Joe Biden, Donald
Corey,
Trump should have had additional resources.
What is this Kamala? It's Kamala Harris. Corey, you've been in this business a long time. I think you're a mature grown-up. It's Kamala Harris. Can you just say Kamala, or you cannot say Kamala?
Jim, can you admit 13,099 murders that have come into the country? You say you haven't.
Well, Corey, I appreciate you coming on. Maybe we'll have you back. Thanks for your time. All right.
If your greatest argument for your side is like, stop saying Kamala's name wrong. Stop it. Stop saying it's Kamala. Stop it. Like, first off, Kamala Harris has said her name like 5 different times. Joe Biden doesn't even know his own name, but has also said Kamala Harris's name a bunch of times incorrectly. We were watching a clip of Al Sharpton this morning say Kamala's name wrong. We call her Communist Kamala. When are we going to get our lecture? We're waiting for it. It really is the lowest, it's like the lowest possible level of you have nothing to say and you have no counter argument. Corey Lewandowski is somebody who has really, quite frankly, triggered some of the more humiliating members of the media and the press. Ari Melber went on a haywire rant before ending segment with a furious threat. Look at the body language here. Here we go. What do we got? MSNBC host Ari Melber erupted at Trump aide Corey Lewandowski last night, threatening to sue him in an extraordinary on-air clash. Lewandowski, who had been invited on Melber's show, The Beat, with Melber, accused him of lying about past controversies involving the former president. Fighting back, Lewandowski tried to turn the tables, kind of like what he did with Acosta there. Very well done. He harkened back to July 16th segment in which Melber quoted a New York Times article about Trump himself being his biggest prop, which began Trump himself being his biggest prop, which began 3 days after the assassination that nearly claimed his life. The Times article described Trump walking into the VIP box in the convention with a large white bandage on his injured ear, described the bandage as a reminder of mortality, a badge of survival. It was a blank rectangle on which the crowd could read what it wished, and it made the whole potent placard in the hall. Made the most potent placard in the hall. Okay. So what was actually said here was Melber, reciting to the Times piece, said it's fair, a placard for delegates to fill in, an image for political mobilization, a spectacle for this candidate who we knew, by his own admission, obsessed with a sordid spectacle. So he called Trump getting shot in the head a spectacle. He did say that. So there's the quote from the article. And he threatens to sue. He threatens to sue. Because what? The guy correctly quoted him on his show? They're melting down. They wouldn't be acting like this if they were winning. These are not the actions of losers, right? These are not the actions of winners. These are the actions of losers. This is how people act. They start melting down like this. They go crazy. It's breaking their brains. They know Trump's going to win. And here's how you know. When you're threatening lawsuits live on TV for the Trump aides, for correctly quoting you, yeah, you're losing. Here we go.
You're a clear, straight speaker.
Straight.
I gave you time. I gave you time to talk about 2024. You got that time, and this is now your chance to address this, and you're not addressing it. That's fine.
Ari, you're not
people can read that for themselves.
You're not addressing.
You want me to respond to you now? We're at the end of the interview. You want me to respond to that?
Okay.
I'd be happy to, since we're on live air. I'm gonna respond to you on live air. I quoted a New York Times article that said, at the convention, Donald Trump was his own biggest prop. It was a New York Times quote about how he had become such an important figure in rebounding from what was a horrific assassination attempt. Fox News, which Corey, I said I'd address it. I'm going to finish. Fox News, many viewers may not know about this, but apparently you do, and some do. Fox News, which has been caught in defamation, ran a false piece, falsely stating that I said something else that I didn't say. So I stand on that. I stand on the New York Times
quote.
So you
didn't say this bandage was a prop, a spectacle from a candidate who was obsessed with spectacles.
Mr. Lewandowski, I did not say that. That is a false quote.
Right here. It's clear.
What you have is a false quote. What you have is a false quote. And if you, I'm putting you on notice, if you continue to repeat falsely that I said that, you will be potentially in a defamation situation because I didn't say that. But I understand that you're working off the internet, which is a lot of false information.
This is what it says.
I wish you luck with that. And Corey Lewandowski, we gave you time.
So
I appreciate you coming on.
For that.
Thank you for joining me. Corey Lewandowski, Trump 2024, and we will be right back.